Hi everyone, and you're so much welcome to today's tutorial, and I still remain Odurole Mojibola, your shoemaking made easy tutor. And today we are going to be learning how to create this Hallux Ankle Sandal. What's an Hallux? An Hallux is actually your great toe or your big toe. Yes, I'm going to be showing us how I created this simple accessory on this part and how I was able to coat it excellently like this. Sit back and I'm gonna be right back. So what I am just trying to do here is I'm trying to actually attach a 1mm Mako, which is also called EVA foam, the Ever foam. I'm trying to attach it to my rubber sole. So after attaching it, what I actually did, I used my sandpaper to actually roughen the surface, apply my contact adhesive, and I now place it on my outer, so it's an already made outer, so as you can see, and I trimmed it off. So while I was through with that, I decided to create an half heel, like a form of half heel, about 1/3 or 2/3 of the whole sole. That was what I'm trying to cut, but this time around I used a Mako 4. I wanted the back part to be a bit high, and I wanted it to look like a wedge, but a mini wedge. So you can see I just attached it to it on top of that same sole. So just to give it a special look, so I'm just going to trim it off just to make it look like a wedge, but made of Ever foam. So that's what I'm trying to actually do in that particular video. I've already taught us how to create a wedge sole, so I just want those who are watching my channel for the first time to be able to understand what this is all about. So we're going to continue into the main video now. First thing we are going to be doing for our Hallux Ankle Sandal is we are going to be measuring the strap. Don't forget that it has an ankle strap. It also have, a kind of square shape accessory at the hallux. So now I'm going to be using 2 centimeter for the width of the strap. Yes, I have to use 2 centimeter. You can use 2 centimeter, or you can decide to use about 3/4 of an inch. So if you are not using 2 centimeter, you can use 3/4 of an inch. So let's go ahead. The long one, we are going to be having 2 different straps at the back. The longer one is 15 inches, while the next one is 9 inches. The 9 inches is the one that will be carrying the buckle. Now I need you to understand that the one that is going to be carrying the buckle is going to be here. So when you want to take your own measurement, you can follow this particular pattern. So this is going under. At least you must have like 1.5 under. You come to this side, then fold your leg out, knowing fully well that your buckle will be suspended here. It's not compulsory that it should be suspended to your strap. You can decide to suspend it into an elastic. There are so many kind of elastic that you can still use to do that. So you can suspend the elastic in between this. If you are suspending the buckle inside an elastic, it means 18 centimeter will be okay, because you are going to be inserting it into the strap. But if you are going to be using the strap as well, it means you have to add an extra 1 inch, which you are going to be folding over to suspend your buckle. So we are going to be having that to be 9 inches, while on this other side we are going to be having this about 1.5 will still go in. I'm just using this as a guide for us to know how to go about the measurements and how I got the measurements I'm presently using. So it goes through your ankle, and then don't forget that the buckle is going to be here, so it's going to be entering the buckle right here. So I decided to use 15 inches for mine. So it depends on the size you are actually working with. You can use your foot to measure it. There's no crime. Just ensure you have about 1.5 of an inch or 2 inch under your foot before you go ahead with your calculation. It's always better if it's longer than when it is shorter. So let's quickly go ahead. I'm going to be using 2 centimeter for my own width. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to be telling us the reason why I'm actually using 2 centimeter even as we continue. So as you can see, I've already cut. This is now 15 inch long, and I told you earlier that I decided to use 2 centimeter because I intend to fold it. So all we need to do is to cut out our strap. So for this our Hallux accessory, this is what I actually did. You can decide to do your own in any way that you think is suitable, but for me this is what I did. I got about 1 millimeter ever foam, which is also called Mako in Nigeria. I'm going to be placing it here. I've already applied gum on it. As you can see, I've applied gum, and I've applied gum on this. I'm going to be placing it right on it. So I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to try to cut it out. Don't mind me, I'm supposed to place it from the edge. So you can see I've placed this. I'm going to cut this away. Just try to trim it. Not to try to trim. Try to trim. So after that, I'm also going to, you can see I've placed on this side. I'm also going to place, I've already applied my contact adhesive here as well. So I am going to just go ahead and place that also on this side and trim it off again. Now that I've cut it out, the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be opening it up right at the center. Try to ensure that you are actually opening up at the center. I know somebody's already wondering what size did she use. It's 4 centimeter by 4 centimeter. It's actually a square, 4 centimeter by 4 centimeter. So I'm going to try to locate my center, leave about 1 centimeter distance between the two of them before I now insert the strap that is going to be at that our Hallux, in between our Hallux and the second toe. So you can see what I did here. I actually folded 1.5 I folded 1.5 centimeter wide leather. The length is 6 inches. So I put, now I've told us severally, by the time I mentioned, for example, I just said I use 1.5 centimeter. All you need to do is, as you can see my measuring tape, this is 1.5. If you want to do yours in inches, just fold this way and then turn around and use this side as your inch. So if now I told us that 6 inch, the length is 6 inch, so it means we have about 0.5 of an inch as the width. So you fold it like I folded the other one. So I'm going to try to insert that into this particular opening that I made. So I'll try to make sure it is well open so that it will be easy for me to actually insert the strap. Now I'm going to carefully insert my strap. Just do that carefully. So you can see it's entering it. It's entering it. Please, there is no one way to achieving this. You can do it in so many ways. The reason I am actually trying to place a leather on my ever foam, which is also called Mako in Nigeria, is because it can tear off because of the weight of the foot. So I'm trying to use my leather to actually reinforce it here as well as this side. So somebody will be wondering, now that it's showing outside, what do I do? You can decide to use this kind of an accessory to cover it up. Nobody sees what is there. At the same time, you can decide to actually apply your contact adhesive again on that surface, then place it on your leather again so that it covers up that side, which is what I'm going to be doing just to show us here. So now it's dry, like I said, I'm going to apply. So I'm going to place the same leather on top of it just to cover it up. So you can see what I have. So you can see the way nobody is really seeing anything like that. So I'm just going to trim this off this place as well. Now you can see what we finally have. So I can decide to still add this. I'm just going to use my shoe glue to hold it down there. Yeah, you have to be very careful. I want to be sure I'm holding it properly. I want it to face this way. Right up here. I think I need to add more. So then for this one on top of it, I bought the accessory on AliExpress. So you can see what I have. So what I did is, to this I actually coated the edges. So I told us I already taught those in the 3 weeks intensive training how to actually prepare this. So if you are still there, don't worry, we are going to it. I'm sure all you need to do is just prepare this of any color and then you use. If you're interested in the course, just in the course on how to produce this alone, how to create your edge coats like this alone, let me know in the comment section and I will give you the link to get the course if that's all you need from the 3 weeks intensive training. But I would suggest that you actually try to go in for the whole course because it's a well-packaged course for everyone. So I'm just going to go right away. You can see it's staying. I'm just going to coat all of the edges and then we are good to go. Don't forget that we are also going to put our toe guard. That's important. I use 1 inch toe guard. So I mean the length is 1 inch. So we're going to go right into lacing it after now. So I have already, you can see I have already fixed the buckle. So many times I've already taught us this, so I'm not please going to be going back to it. You can check my previous videos to see how to fix buckle. So I just decided to line it with another kind of leather. So I'm just going to be going right away. I'm going to trim it off, then we'll go right into lacing. So you can see that I've already opened this up. I've taught us what this measurement is. So in the comment section, let me know if you can still remember what measurements we normally use for our thumb at this particular point. Anytime we are creating a stongy sandal, what do we use? Don't forget we are actually creating an Hallux ankle sandal. So I'm going to be fixing this right here. I'm going to fix it. You know how we do that. We just place it, let it be over it a little, put it gently. I use my about 2.5 millimeter punch to punch that side. I'm going to be using my plier to pull it out after bringing it out. Sorry for that. So just do it gently. I told us I use my toe guard is 1 inch long, so you can see what I'm having already. I can decide to, I want it to be staying this way. Wherever way you want it, it's just your choice anyway. So you can see what we have here. I'm going to be inserting this. Don't forget that the one carrying the buckle is going to be coming from here and is going to be staying here. So the same way, strategically push it in. Make sure it's not wider. Now this side I use 5.5 centimeter from this edge to this place. This is size 38. So if you are working with other sizes, I will suggest you adjust it a little bit more. And I want to believe that somebody wearing 39 can also use 5.5, but somebody wearing size 40, 41, 42, you might have to adjust to suit their size. So that's majorly depends on you. So I'm going to be inserting this here, and I'm going to be going ahead and last. You can see what I have. It may not really be making any sense as it is now, but don't forget it's going to be coming in right away. This is so lovely. So let me quickly go ahead and I will use my last. You can use your foot if you don't have a last. You can use your foot just to finish it up. You don't need any finishing here. All you need is just to ensure that your toe guard is about 1 inch long, and then that will perfectly fix this side for you. So just the back part and the ankle part, that's where you actually need your last or your foot. So you can see this is what I have right here. So if I'm going to use my last, I'm going to just go ahead and buckle it up this way. You can see this place is quite wide, so you cannot use it as a judge for whatever this ankle size will be. So we really need to be careful. So I would suggest that if you are creating this kind of Hallux ankle sandal for any of your customer or a family or for yourself, use your tape rule to take the measurements of their foot the same way I took the measurements when we started. That will help you to know what length to use and how to actually stop, because this may not be giving you the exact going this way, except you just want to go this way and you cannot fully ascertain its accuracy like this. So please, the same way I measured when we started, that's the same way you should measure their foot. And since that was what I did, you see that going this way is looking as if it's short, but it's not short. I'm just going to go ahead, deduct my 1.5 inch that I wanted to use as my lasting allowance here. Then I'll go ahead and just last, and then I'm good to go, and my Hallux ankle sandal is ready, because all I need to do now is just to put my sole and everything is ready. No, this is not for this. This is for this. As you can see, it's going to be for this. This is really beautiful and lovely. So let me just go ahead and do that. I'm going to be using my contact adhesive as usual for all of my lacing and bottoming. So after we have perfectly laced and bottom, I wanted to show us how to go about grinding and finishing the edges of our Hallux ankle sandal. The first thing I needed to pay attention to is the way I position my hand. You can see the way I'm holding it. Every time the grinding machine has a tendency to throw off whatever you are holding if you are not holding it firmly. So learn to hold firmly and then monitor what needs to be grinded. Now, if you look at this particular video, you find out that the only thing I'm grinding is the PVC material that I use as the insole. I am not grinding the outer sole, which is the already made rubber sole. So you have to pay attention to what needs to be grinded. Don't just grind anything. Don't just grind everything. So we are trimming the inner sole to fit the outer sole. So that's the main point. That's the main point. And that's why each time you see me showing you when I'm through with it, when it gets to it, you find out that it's clear. You can see that. So when you move to the next one, it continues just like that. If you are a beginner, I always advise you to use an already made sole. Don't go about cutting the sheets of material like PVC material, buying them in sheet or in pair and creating a sole template. It's always difficult to be able to know what the shape will look like. But if you have a good template you can work with, then ensure that you actually do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep grinding all of the excesses around my Hallux ankle sandal until it perfectly, have a very good finishing at the edge. So don't be in a hurry. You can see the way I'm trying to position that side, that instep side. So just make sure that you're very careful when you're doing this. In short, it's very easy. You can see holding it. Keep holding it like that. Keep protecting your upper from touching the grinding stone, because make you start all over again, especially if it grinds the leather. Wow, you can see what we were finally able to achieve using our edge coat. Like I said, if you're interested in a course on how to make the edge coat for yourself, different colors for yourself, please let me know in the comment section and I'll let you know how to go about it. I'm sure those in my intensive training does not need that anyway. They have it all for themselves. So this is what our Hallux ankle sandal look like. You can see what it really looks like. It is so cute on the foot. So if you're watching my channel for the first time, ensure you subscribe to my channel and also press the notification bell so that each time I upload a video you will be notified. Thank you so much for being part of today's tutorial, and I am going to see you next time. Bye.